once a spy. She was brilliant, erratic, cursed, an anti-personnel mine in human form. Her friends called her Hershel, but for her controllers, she was CASCADE.
Your name and your cryptonym. A dead limb twitches.
Portofiro 91, a whole sick crew, a disaster untold, a black page in the official records.
The memory hums, an exposed wire.
None at all. Yet here we are, standing over the smashed and leaking world. She was recalled. They put her in the freezer. Forever, most thought. Even in those dark days, there were whispers among the lower sub-levels, where they keep the true believers. Don't count CASCADE out. 5 years passed. A little more of the world leaked out of itself. CASCADE's controllers ordered her back to Portofiro. Because I asked them to. There's a new assignment, CASCADE. I was supposed to give you the brief. No one special. Just an arm-like sac of cytoplasm, a special move unique to single-cell organisms. But before that, I was like you, a spy for the People's Republics. One of the varieties of mankind. Right here. In an armchair in a safe house above a 24-hour photo shop. In the city-state of Portofiro. CASCADE. I should never have come. One that could really turn things around. For you, of course. Independent thought and movement are a bit beyond me in my current state.
This was the human game, and he played it poorly. Time to give up his seat.
Would you like to hear a secret? Whatever happens has already happened.
Splayed on the chair before you is a man, approximately mid-30s. His chest rises and falls in steady rhythm as he stares beyond you, unblinking. Alive, yet not alive. A pair of headphones have slipped partway off his head, connected to a stereo system beside him. No response. His eyes are still fixed glassily on the ceiling. You get no response. No. As you stare down at him, the man begins to draw. Horn-rimmed glasses, impeccably dialectical, more commonly found on book sleeve portraits of men decades his senior. The man seems no more or less assured than before. Stiff collared shirt, a snug brown jacket, and nothing below the entirely unfit for purpose, based on his current state. There is no smell of alcohol, nor any open containers. No drug paraphernalia either. Just a loose cord trailing to the stereo system. Like a cosmonaut's safety tether. Your fingers detect a low, steady hum where jaw meets neck. Elevated, but not critical. When in theatre, an operant must always prepare to be assassinated. Of course, it is better not to be killed. The man's eyes glisten. Bright red veins blossom around their edges. However he ended up like this, the result is the same. Operant down. Clipped to the inside flap of his jacket, you find a laminated badge, emblazoned with the crest of the Import-Export Bureau of the People's Republic of Kohila. The name reads Esteman T. Below that, a title, Imports Lead. Sock Merchant, one of the opera's most battle-tested covers. Notably absent is an actual phone number. Into your pocket it goes. The people's spy cannot be caught shirking. Time to escalate. Following the cord from the unconscious man's headphones, you come to a mid-sized home stereo resting on a sideboard. A Protypo 909 50-watt with multi-disc changer. Last generation model, designed for affordability at the expense of power and clarity. Through the translucent view panel, you see a single red disc loaded in place. On the face of the disc are the words, Ultravioletta, you but from a dream, handwritten on thin strips of tape. You don't recognize the artist. The disc is loaded, ready to tell you. The chunky button makes a satisfying little thud. The plastic latch clicks into place, and the discus begins to turn. You know because the spindle is rotating, though the speakers don't produce any sound at all. No sound, save the thin layer of static that lines the inner cables. Amateur wire work. The static quiets as you reset the volume. A brief internal hum. Then the disc slides halfway out of the machine and waits there, like it's trying to hide from you. You remove the red disc and place it into your pocket. This small table has been turned into a makeshift desk. A startlingly red folder stands out against the clutter. In the Operant Bureau's elaborate filing system, red is reserved for personnel file. A small label in the top left corner is printed with one word. Your cryptonym, CASCADE. The color reminds you of pomegranate. Your hand hesitates. The folder opens with a whoosh. Before you, in neat monospace type, your life is condensed to its barest elements. Name, Wilk Hershel, cryptonym Cascade. Born Landau, former Republic of Mercia. Dependents, none. Pay class D2. Years of service, 14. All true. None of it useful just now. There's another page behind this one. It's labeled Service History. A tingle in your fingers. Your head grows lighter as you approach the crash site. In just a few words, the worst failure of your life is reduced to bureaucratic shorthand. Previous assignment, Portofiro 88 to 91. Network, whole sick crew. Operants, CASCADE. Redacted. Assets, redacted, 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 redacted. A secret the opera has elected to keep from itself. Obvious. The opera wanted him to know what sort of spy he'd be working with. Most recent assignment, November 91 to present. Satellite Facility B. AKA the freezer, where the old, useless and discredited are assigned to wander the climate-controlled hexagonal galleries until they're dismissed or die of despair. Or very occasionally, until fate recalls them to the opera's service. Now if only you can figure out why. The folder shuts itself with a tiny sigh. Amidst the crumpled sheets of copy paper and empty takeout containers, you find an open pack of cigarettes, Suprema mark. Smokes, ease of mind, cool. There are a few mangled filters in the ashtray. There's nothing outwardly noteworthy about this pack of Suprema 100s. It's like any other found in except secreted neatly against the inner wall of the pack, just as you were once taught to do yourself. The crisply Bijipwil, Bubsquux, Ongs, Sixfazul, Excorm, Yijizv, Digaruk, Ravix, Skilbuch, Jittabubaki, Whatsup, Sift, Hugtok, Huichk. The pack slides nicely into your pocket, as though it always belonged there. A pair of men, if pseudopod's pants were attempting to flee the scene. Brown, shapeless. The front and back pockets are completely empty, except for a few pieces of lint. You discover a small extra pocket inside the front right pocket. You slip 2 fingers inside and come away with a neatly folded sheet of paper. The page is notebook-sized and perforated along one edge. It reads, THA space 7, the missing companion to the cipher you discovered in the cigarette pack. Totally meaningless, yet no meaning can be made without it. One that could be applied to the ciphertext you found in your personnel file. One of the many mysteries he was trying to smooth out as you turn away You return to the desk. Everything is right where you left it. The genius of a one-time key is that it requires nothing more than basic addition to use. Sadly, basic... You pick up the phone. The handset vibrates in your palm. Before you even finish speaking the word, the device connected to your phone base splits it into 256,000 encrypted fragments. The magic box, one of the proudest achievements of the opera's technical services office. Half a world away, a familiar voice splits into a corresponding number of fragments before coalescing again by your ear.
Please tell me you have good news.
The voice of all, otherwise known as your controller.
Operant, you made it. Your voice hasn't changed.
Her voice is just as you remember.
We'll get to catch-ups later. Put pseudopod on the line.
You glance over at the man in the chair. A snail's trail of dried saliva glints on the... You feel your mind starting to spin up. Free. It takes all your concentration to keep the receiver steady against your ear. For a moment, no one says anything. There's no sound at all, save for the blood in your ear and the electrostatic hum of the ultra-long distance connection.
Has he been zeroed out?
Meaning eliminated, killed. The language of distance, a measure of cotton to muffle the fear.
I'll ask one more time. Is your double zeroed out?
You must speak the word. She cannot make the determination herself. Once you say it, there's no going back. The momentum of events will overtake you.
Cascade, is your double zeroed out or not? Yes, you do. Is he zeroed out, Operant? Right. I wonder which it is. Have our enemies blown us up already? Or is this just another day at the basement massage parlor of spy services? Fucking hell. The opera's going to hang me by the toes. For you, it's back to Satellite Facility B.
The freezer, shiver, resist.
Is that your way of telling me to fuck off? You haven't even got the assignment. Listen to me. This assignment is over. Effective immediately.
Over. Immediately. The words.
The woman in the photo shop downstairs, Constance. She's one of ours. Let her deal with pseudopod.
Middle-aged woman, dark hair behind the counter. You exchanged a few words when she gave you the key.
As for you, we need to get you on the next aerotram out of the city.
Already your mind is settling back into familiar grooves. Old mechanisms slide, and click into position. The cipher text. You have the pieces. You just need to put them together. They won't be expecting you back in the People's Republics for several days. Plenty of time for some self-directed espionage.
Let the photo lady deal with him. Your concern is getting out of Portofiro, understand?
The People's spies are infallible and incorruptible. Reject.
Cut the Mel stuff. We're talking about work now.
You've been out of action for 5 years. The Opera wouldn't rush sending you back in theatre. Unless... half a moment's hesitation. Then...
Where'd you get that idea?
not a denial. Proceed.
A highly original thesis, also completely irrelevant now. There should still be flights departing for Superblock territory tonight. Make sure you're on one of them. It was no one, a ghost in the wire. The assignment's over. Get on the next tram. Then you're going to end up like Pseudopod. Zeroed out. Your choice.
A click, and the line... You returned, breathing gently on his chair. He could be a sleeping child, but for the wide open. Your double has deserted the track before the starting gun. Will you stand for it? Pathetic. The man's breath gargles softly in his throat as you yank him upwards. He... The man's head slips 2 centimeters to the left. His jaw slides with it. You can do it, Cascade, he says with his eyes. You return to the desk. Everything is right where you left it. Letter by letter, words emerge from the mist. They speak in a voice you haven't heard for a long time. The day beyond. You return to your double. You returned.
Easy, lady. I just want to develop some photographs. I'm not trying to take your innocence. You have a wild imagination. A little photo should not count as a crime. It's not like it's a loaded gun or something. Whoa, whoa. Caught in a pincer by the art police. Not a good day for pursuing my interests. What? Very well. Photo 24 can have this round. Thank you for this extreme stress I'll now carry through my day.
divorced. I don't presume to know the inner workings of the opera, but I have to think I could be better utilized. Of course, I'm happy with the tasks I've been assigned thus far. Keeping a safe house is a major responsibility, but I have other skills, you know. Chemistry, for one. I have an entire photo lab back here with access to all kinds of toxic chemicals and powders. And yet I doubt anyone would suspect a woman like me of, say, poisoning someone. If the assignment required it.
This is a woman who's planned countless perfect murders in her idle hours.
Of course. I just wanted you to know. It's that little amber light. It means out of order, and I haven't been able to get it to green, meaning in order.
Just looking at that thing causes you to take psychic damage. Best.
Pseudopod assured me this machine was a vital tool of communication, as precious to our work as the magic box we installed on your room phone. I'm telling you now, Operant. You've received all sorts of technical training, I presume. I would think...
A dread beast humming with dormant power. A handless scribe. It just needs to be...
I certainly don't. It looks rather flirtatious. Seedy business attracts itself. You might try one of the bars along Party Alley. I don't know whether that's intended to be reassuring. I was also asked to procure a multi-tool with... I'll be here if you require anything. Much better, thank you. Operant, I would never.
Wrong. The sky is only 98% sky. The other 2% is you. But they don't want you to know that. I am Subcommandante Beckman, and this is the reality situation. No breaks, no filters, no cowards.
Finally, someone with courtesy. Do you know when the 9 is coming?
A handsome man shifts in place, glancing over his shoulder toward the tram lines. Suitcases surround him.
Sorry to bother you, madame. I suppose not everyone is stranded here like myself. I did see a man like that some days ago, I think. Near the bazaar, in fact.
Ah, sleeping brother.
No, he was alone. Why do you ask? I guess we share the same fate.
The man turns back to his suitcases. You hear laughter and you can still make out the lower half of the words SL free sticking out on the... You also have the red disc from the stereo system. You could seek out a...
The fire exit stands conspicuously ajar. Wrong. Ball wants to play, not wedge.
A hallway. It's just a fine place to hide in a moment of crisis. No, it's a trap. Must be destroyed. The tableau. On the TV, a giant wolf-like creature stands up on its hind legs and howls. Its fur bristles gold. Dangerous, mythical, electrifying. No wonder the kids are watching this. Suddenly, the beast roars and light floods the screen. It's followed by a wet, pulpous sound. An acceptable mimicry of a skull liquefying under extreme thermal stress. LED lights are distributed evenly along the blade. Durable PVC hilt with textured grip. Impressive armament. On the screen, a headless lupine figure standing on its back legs shakes violently. Blood pours from its neck as flesh reknits itself. The loose, Once a powerful empire, now reconstituted as a modern techno-fascist state. The rising military and cultural... Oust the names of these grotesque fascist animals. Speak to them of the people's heroes. It's been years since you interacted with children, so a reminder, be nice. Doing well enough so far. Yeah, they have no idea. Brains lie, guts don't. A decent aid. Worth asking this Malin for specifics. The children ignore...
Excuse me. Can you take a look at this? Have you seen him before? How do you know about that? It didn't eat him, but yeah, he's been missing a few days. Right, I should have started with that, I guess. His name's Klantz. He probably just started walking and got lost. Old people do that. He's kind of forgetful sometimes. Not a lot, but I'm just... Bagman. Yes, that was it. After Dad retired, his friend Gilmar turned him onto the reality situation. They got obsessed, had them convinced they were truth detectives. Which apparently means someone who goes around looking for evidence of invisible aircraft carriers and iodine Dad and Gilmar were always following up on leads and calling into the show. Felt like Bagman was encouraging them, you know? Okay, well, look, this is kind of embarrassing. My dad developed this insane theory about the payphone to the western exit of the bazaar. Dad thought certain words said into the right phone gets you attention from the wrong people. He was convinced Emter was behind it all. A couple days ago, he stopped by the stall to bring me lunch. Then he said he was going to make a call. I wasn't nervous at first. I figured there was no risk of anything actually happening. And then he... No. I mean, he just can't leave things alone when he gets... They seem pretty random. Cousins, moon, reunion. On their own, sure. Together? Gibberish. His friend Gilmar called him from that phone after he'd spent the night following around some Emter guys. They were both big into the conspiracy stuff. He'd overheard something and was explaining it when the call just cut off. My dad went by his house the next day, but Gilmar wasn't there. I asked my dad if the phone call was a nightmare or if he forgot Gilmar was going on a trip. I thought maybe the show was getting into his head, you know? Dad really believed it, though. He looked for him for 2 weeks, reported him missing to the GMs. Nothing. Yeah, thanks for humoring me. Don't pay too much attention to it. He'll probably turn up any day now. You could keep an eye out for him, maybe? I just want to know if he's okay. Anyway, you want a wig? I hear they make you fun at parties. Oh yeah, he came by. Nice man. Talked a lot about socks. He was, normal. Pretty forgettable, if I'm honest. I told him, unless your socks are mismatched and neon-colored, I'm not much use to you. Not really. Wandered off into the bazaar. What do you mean, something's happened? Did he use the phone? Oh, well, at least you have that. Sorry. Yeah, I was kind of distracted. Oh, that's, Ultravioleta, the Louisian pop star. Always thought that type of music was too young for me, but I've been enjoying her stuff recently, for some reason. No, but it's definitely... Weird disc, that. Oh, you should ask Petre at the music stall over there. He'll know more. Doubt he's an ultra, though. Why? Really? You're not going to try to make a call or anything, right? Okay. It's the phone by the western entrance to the bazaar. Yeah, they're right there. Take a look. You need anything else?
Off-brand drivers. Mass-produced excrement. These animals pleasure themselves in it. Those smears near the optical pickups? That's not damage. You see this? Each one guaranteed for 10,000. No. I'm talking about cultural ephemera. Speciality? Burden. As you can see, I spend my days backed into a corner, hopelessly outnumbered by the dead-eyed horde, dreaming of format-assisted auto. Stars have mercy. Each single velo disc represents a single cell of stage 5 cultural metastasis. Synthetic brain cancer. A fledgling device, yes, but make no mistake. They've perfected the technology with these newer formats. Sleeker, quicker to go obsolete. Because the dim herd pays top sol for this dreck, of course. Making an ethical living, impossible feat these days. Oh yes, they sound nice. Why don't you chisel those words into the headstone of civilization, then sign it? Terminal replayer. Go ahead, browse away. My name's Petre. If you need anything, I'll be here, lamenting what's left of the culture. Strange how? Format or content?
He tanks the disc.
An Einzelton XR. Where did you get this? Einzelton hasn't been available to consumers for a decade. A disc in good condition is worth thousands of sol to people who appreciate its wonders. The apex of auditory technology. A high-fidelity yet dynamic sonic experience that self-effaces after a single play. A magnet embedded in the disc erases its contents as it's being listened to. As in life, everything happens only once. Replayability is oblivion, the end. manufacturing fault than this to save them from this humiliation from being passed around like...
A light switch flips off in his eyes. He handles it as reverently as if it were a tiny plastic coffin.
I'm sorry. UV can only be ultraviolet. Degenerate Lucian Electrodrosser. There's a new fabricated star every day, it seems. But she's the top of today's pile. The fact that it's committed to Einzeltone suggests it's some kind of promo copy. Some new advancement of degeneracy. This ultraviolet has gone missing at the moment. Kidnapped by counter-fascist radicals, whatever that means. Lucian marketing plot, if you ask me. Mystery, fragility, trying to add something of the legendary to her status. Things like her make me almost miss the days the Lucians were marching on the colonies. None of this is the Einzeltone's fault, of course. They can't control what gets seared upon them. You seem to have misunderstood my soliloquy. It's done. No mas. The beauty... I hope you dispose of it with dignity. I think a private ceremony would be most appropriate. I'm afraid not. The format is near obsolete. Einzeltone is the past, yet it contains the future. So, your question is, Petre, how do I reanimate a corpse? I would class it as necrophilia. Actually, I'll be honest, the thought is so disturbing to me that I've never entertained it before. But theoretically... Theoretically, it might be possible. You would have to repolarize, re-reminence processing, probably a concentrated magnetic flip, neodymium grader. It would involve some custom gear, no doubt, but my answer to your distressing question is yes. I think you could. Why don't you film it and make a snuff disc out of it? One for the techno-voyeurs. Don't ask me about this again. I feel unclean.
The vendor's eyes now.
This is a media store, not the missing persons division. The sock boy. Dialectical...
Back in photo 24, your would-be double gurgles his ascent.
He came by here. Little communist lot. Heir of a child hastily abandoned at a fire station, waiting on a mother who won't be coming. He was dreaming big, I'll give... Your dialectical friend mistook himself for some sort of big money businessman. He wanted the bazaar to import superblock hosiery. Socks to start with, but there was talk of cotton tights, even stockings if the venture took off. No. And to be honest, I wouldn't have wasted the stuff. You're joking, of course. He didn't even know what a velo disc was, let alone an Einzelton. At a certain point, I'm just debasing myself. Of course not. I don't sell socks. So is he all right, your man? Or what? So you're also a communist. But you're not that little, or particularly lost, I'd say. I'll be blunt. Are you with a weeping eye? Because they've been especially active here recently. Usually they just let things slide. All the Lucian merchandise. Good for everyone. But these days, they're staring right at us. Unblinking. This isn't paranoia at work, friend. My point is, your colleague was asking questions. Now, something's obviously happened, and here you are, also asking questions. Given the current climate, no one wants to answer these questions, least of all, me. I'll tell you what I told your sock friend. Speak to the boatman down by the West docks. He's the one who knows the underground goings-on around here. We're just the vendors. Wonderful. Now for all our sakes, please say no more. If you want to talk media formats, I'm your man. This other stuff... Maybe not. The bazaar is closing up soon. Another day...
Especially good new pieces today.
The old woman flashes you a quick glance. She angles her magazine away from you protectively. A flash of light from between the pages. She's...
You're working...
Her lips shrivel and her eyebrows
But he was dressed so nicely, standing so straightly, polite to Carmuna. And Carmuna thinking that there might be hope for us in the superblock.
Uncow yourself. Flaunt your fine communist spinal column.
Too tall, Menina. You'll get no suitors looming over people like that. He's probably avoiding you. Doesn't want you arming his sails, yes?
She focuses her attention back toward him.
Carmuna would help, but it's a busy day. Other matters to attend to.
This avowal of whatever inane gossip has her attention in that magazine. She has information about Pseudopod.
Quiet, Menina. Does Carmuna blurt your business?
She ruffles the magazine angrily. Fear in her eyes, like you're being watched.
Shh, Menina. Keep your voice down. For all we know, he's listening too. We are dealing with an aerial creep. He's watching the whole bazaar. Carmuna.
The woman angles her magazine towards the unfinished pylon, towering at the edge of the market.
He is creeping, keeping watch on behalf of Polaris knows who, monitoring our ways. He's spying our comings and goings. Carmuna will tell you all about your nice boy if you go find out why. Everybody the same. Be careful, Menina. Don't mention Carmuna. Go through the gate just south of it and keep going down. You'll get to it. No time for chitter-chat.
She focuses on the mirror in her magazine, unperturbable.
I Take a look through the rack to my left. No lice, no rips, no patches.
The racks sway. Asymmetrical coats, sleeveless tunics, jumpsuits. Keep trying. You can find the best tap. You let your eyes wander up and down the rack. Smells like perfume, tequila, cigarettes. You slip it on and try to smooth down its fur mange. Your fingers come away with a coating of white powder. Bitter, numbing.
Free of charge. See? 30 sol. And Carmuna is short on patience. But she will set this...
Hangers scrape against metal as you thumb through the racks. Foreign material shifts under your fingers, cool and unfamiliar.
Keep looking.
You turn away from the rack. The gate is bound to the pole by a thin steel chain. Rust speckles you. A system compromise. You push the gate. The metal creaks. We're gonna need tools for this one. Canned beverages are lined up like brightly coloured soldiers, neatly registered. The refreshments remain. The Guardia Municipal. The folks who guard property rights are not worthy of answers. animal rival. The storefront is closed firm with a metal shutter. Plant life sprouts from cracks in the brickwork. Carl was here. M plus Y. You lift the shutter gently. Around you, scattered pairs of eyes watch as you jiggle the shutter. Too many people around. Come back at night. Or fine. You turn away from the storefront.
The brightly coloured cans seem even more vivid upon your return.
They land in the well with a formidable... The refreshments remain dormant in their art.
You're not Portofiro. Vows like that? I don't think so. I was going to say you look Mercian.
What happened, sugar tits? You get lost? Or are you just looking for company? Wait, miss. I'm sorry.
Unwise to your presence. It practically clings.
I don't know how much time we have.
The man gives no indication of registering your presence as you approach. His mirror... Orange and blue feathers. Predator. He's genuinely perplexed. A film of...
Designed and built in Portofiro, back when the city still had the industrial...
You scan up and down the docks for machinery, but find none. This must be the last of its species. The crane may lift imported and stolen. Cold, rough, seabirds.
The man doesn't react or turn as you approach.
I saw you by the fire exit.
His tone, one step short of accusatory.
You considered the pelota ball. You know it doesn't belong there, but you left it all the same. Very difficult to watch. When faced with the sensible words of a well-designed regulation, and the superstitious mutterings of your own mind, you choose the latter. Ah, well. Still, you've come a long way. Fortunately, the view just about compensates. I'm being punished. My employer has placed me in an impossible position. I'm a safety inspector, watching the lines. As you might have noticed, this pylon is under construction, technically. Precisely. That's because this line, Line 9, will never be finished. What we're sitting on is hardly more than a sketch. This pylon's angle deviated more than expected, as the concrete said. Hazardous near water. Shouldn't have skimped on materials. Then there are the clearance issues. The party alley rooftops are higher than the building department's official records. Since the last round of enter stabilization, they've been trying to force us lifers out. We can be fired, not easily, but they can take away the work that made us stay in the first place. I have two options. I could falsify my reports and declare Line 9 safe for construction anyway, or I could quit. Either way, the company can lose. I wasn't always. I thought about throwing myself off this pylon, right where you're standing. I used to fantasize about the GMs dragging my waterlogged corpse from the canal. Fortunately, this spot lends itself to reflection. Contemplating my punishment helped me see how to live with it. What else is left to do? You know, the view's not mine, just in case. I'm a structural engineer. I believe in stability. What Emperor has brought isn't that. Their version of stabilization shifts the responsibility of managing entropy from the state. Human existence always carries entropy with it. That's inherent in the system. Social insurance, pensions, fair wages, these are measures against the entropy of living. I've never lived anywhere else, so I can't say. I suppose there's the superblock, but they signed Letter Wilker as well. There's entropy in all systems. No living thing can avoid it entirely. A friend of yours? Oh, all right. Quite a formal-looking man, yes? I assume the music vendor told you as much. Yes, they did talk. I couldn't say. A lot of people come through here. I didn't pay particular attention to him. I couldn't really tell. You're welcome.
Terror to my...
And that fire exit door, still open.
Some questions don't require thought, but the opposite. Quiet. To be surrounded by those you know, and whom you've allowed to know you in return. The pylon man turns his head ever so slightly.
The gate is bound to the pole by a thin steel chain. The gap between leaves little room for passage. You take the chain between the beak of your tool and push. And collapses in a jangling heap at your feet. The metal creaks and gives... In another life, it would have been a serpent. A cosmonaut suit. Its shoulder patch reads, 5,000 soul. I wonder it's still here. If it is, then it's one of the few things for sale here. A classroom with a buffed blue floor and white fiberboard tiling. The teacher. The camera follows the white column up, and then it jerks or cuts. For a long moment, none of the students can tell what's happened. A faulty seal, a minor propellant leak. Next thing you know, 4 cosmonauts are splattered across the you and millions of school. Expensive, fruitless. The program's failure promptly tanks the Portofiro economy. Supreme Leader Nestor flees into his second exile not long. As for the bazaar, it's saturated with surplus equipment, memorabilia, and replicas. This suit is most likely the latter. You once heard that the pressure in space can turn your focus widens back to...
Oh, it's you. What? That's so dangerous. You could have been killed. Or worse. Maybe you're right. But for the record, I don't expect you to help me like this. And if you want to give up, you can at any time. Thank you. Okay, look, I think I know why you didn't get snatched. Mi viejo mentioned something like that. Gilmar had been snooping around the waterlock to the east of the bazaar when he got snatched. That might be the missing bit. No idea.
Gone.
Just don't get hurt. Thanks for stopping by.
The fire exit remains ajar. The fire exit remains ajar, full wedged. You raise your hand to wave at the engineer on his pylon. He waves back. It's a pilotable. Pilotables are not designed for use. An affront to workers' safety. Confine it to the gulag of the pocket. It's just a ball in a door. Nobody is paying any particular. Suspiciously nonchalant. They're just going about their days.
I'll print. Our strange cousins across the strait? What's there to tell? If it's between your superblock and La Luz, I've made my decision. I wasn't selling. You know, you're very cynical. I'll be here if you require anything.
The steel door to Tempo's office is before you. Faint oxidation halos bloom across it. Like algae, no response. It's locked. Show it who's boss. It's a standard lock. The right hands will be holding tools for lock-picking. A brief tremor runs. Humans dominate doors every day. Stop. Don't enter. Don't break this seal. This doesn't have to be yours. Silence from below you. The social static of the bazaar muffled by distance. You get no answer, yet you can sense something leaking through the door seams. Unearthing. Contamination. You step back from... You stand before Tempo's door once more. You step back from the door. With awkward reverence, you approach the street shrine. A spectacle of Portofiro and human.
Ink stains and knife scratches adorn the shrine. Jagged In your guiding, we learn. Do you envy a collection of cheap plastic photo frames, haphazard, each heavy with significance? Between them lie offerings and totems, a necklace, some out-of-circulation coins, an old packet of smokes. Prayers flit amongst the offerings, answered or ignored. Who knows? You adjust your position and gather the appropriate reverence. The audience of framed strangers watches you, a prayer of interference. For the gambler palming a final chip. For the veteran lacing up boots, the words hang in the air, brittle as glass. The strangers do not blink. 100 forgotten faces. A crack of moonlight cuts across the shrine, the shadows bending unnaturally. Your words are gone as they are uttered, couriered upwards on the air's invisible wires. In the darkness, you feel the presence of all the strangers' offerings more powerfully.
Decided to give it.
Didn't mean nothing by it, miss.
Animals. That's how it is with most. What all strange is it?
Sure do, sweetheart. The good Dr. Hugo's on his houseboat right there. Reassuring to know that no matter how hot and heavy it gets, we're only 10 feet away from resuscitation.
Can't say anyone like that struck me, but a lot of people...
I would say ask the Duchess herself, but she doesn't talk about clients with other clients.
From the super...
Pseudopod. It's as though he had been as much of a non-person when he was alive as he is now.
Just another foreign money, man. City's been
Stuck up little.
Believe me, we've... Until next time, sugar.
Tell me I'm not meeting your expectations. Tell me I'm a worm before the mystery of the gap. So close. so little. The power differential is grotesque, highly problematic. I'm your faithful dog. I know nothing. I question less.
You stand before Tempo's door once more. Decaying rectangle with limited movement. Kill. The frame screams in... A layer of dust. Next to the frame is an eye, the unmistakable symbol of the weeping eye, the secret police of Lulu. It's soft and ringed. A thicket of serial numbers, dates, columns. As you flip through, two sets of handwriting emerge from the sheets. The first set of handwriting dates back years, a sloppy all capitals which must belong to Tempo. The second, newer set appearing about a week ago is an elaborate looping cursive. Some of the eyes have hearts instead of dots. Boring, boring, boring. A list of names, titles and compensation. One of the Ignatz. It doesn't ring a bell. Rent, utilities, another minor operating. Aqueda, a coastal city of the illuminated empire's mainland. You avert your gaze. The pale screen reads Miwa Terminal Model 4. The crying powder eye stares. It's either a warning related to the world historical information. As you turn the frame around, dust falls and a blade of light momentarily obliterates the row of faces presented. Cutting straight to our heart. Fuck. Rising from the damp cellars of regret. Taxman. Estoc. Virtue. Radiant. Kindred. Holocene. Known to the Opera as the whole sick crew. Unknown to you as those friends you left to die 5 years ago. You abandoned them. They were counting on you, but you only thought of yourself. You scared, selfish little cunt. Do you smell the crippling failure oozing from your skin? You slip the photo out of the frame, into your pocket. Yes. You step to the window. You gather up your sleeve and exhale onto the window, where your breath reveals a clear handprint in the dust. You raise your hand and place it gently onto the memory of his. But once there, you see that you completely obscure it. The print is smaller than your own. Someone else has been using this office, more recently than Across the canal is the district of Lower Vudas. A haggling mess of slums. Nighttime finds the bazaar near. Just like the former overseers, or signs of the revolutionary consciousness organ. No. Known to the Opera as the whole sick crew. You flip the shuttle off.
Welcome to the violent canvas that we call society.